Transfer overload for Manchester United. The transfer window is into its last week and the updates are coming fast and fast, however you want to describe it. It is a wholesale from Manchester United. Everything must go. Roll up. Rasmus Hojlund's latest name on the list to be wanted, well, out of the football club, let's just say, or he's definitely up for a decent offer. Big news on him. We're going to talk about that. We have a big update on Dorgu and how Alvaro Fernandez has popped back up on the scene again. Lots to talk about that. Marcus Rashford updates, Garnacho updates as well. Everything around Manchester United's transfer window and this last week, which is going to be absolute bedlam. Like literally, just had 5 minutes listening to Sky and God, like seriously, Sky cannot survive without Manchester United. The stuff that's coming out is about 4 hours behind everything right now. God, what happened to deadline day on Sky? Seriously. It used to be the one to watch, didn't it? Well, not anymore anyway. But, well, we got you covered with all of the nitty-gritty, with all of the minor details and all of the conversations going in and around the transfer world around Manchester United. So please do give the video a like. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel. You won't miss anything transfer related. Like I said, every tiny minor detail of any deal or any sort of update, we got it. And we got you covered. Third live show of the day. Here we go. Let's crack on. Also, I'm going to explain to you what we're doing at the end of the show as well. It's an extended show tonight as well. So stay tuned for that as well. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Your chance to have your say. Let's get into what's going on because we do need to get through quite a lot tonight, everybody. And we're going to start with Mr. Rasmus Hojlund himself. And what is going on there? Why is Rasmus Hojlund all of a sudden top news? Well, it's not so much top news, but again, this is big news because Manchester United, when they said that every player is up for sale, there's maybe a couple of players at this football club that are not for sale. It looks like they were quite serious about it because we're hearing from Mark Ogden, chief sports writer for ESPN, chief football writer for ESPN, has come out today with a few comments, some really interesting ones. I'm going to talk about Victor Osimhen as well. Yeah, I know. Osimhen again. Where's that come from? This has come from ESPN and Mark Ogden. So I'm just going to read through the tweet first of all from Mark Ogden from his piece which he's posted out today. With Manchester United are prepared to sell Rasmus Hojlund if they receive a suitable offer, either in this window or the summer. AC Milan and Juventus could both move for him if they fail to land their preferred options. There is also some interest in Hojlund from the Bundesliga. Now, again, like we spoke last night after the game, Rasmus Hojlund, effort, application, gives his all, does everything. We just got to question the quality. The quality, I think, is there with Rasmus Hojlund for everybody to debate. Or it's not. Like, literally, that's the problem with him right now. Everybody's looking for that. Everyone's looking for that bit of improvement from last season from Rasmus, and it does look like he's going to fall short. The system isn't suiting him. The front three and how it works is not suiting him yet, I don't think. I think he's just lost his way completely. And for United to be open to selling him kind of tells you that they're basically not going to waste any time. I think the most important thing to take from Rasmus Hojlund, Joshua Zirkzee, Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, all of these targets, all of the forwards at Manchester United, and the lack of goals over the last 3 years in particular, because it has been dire in Manchester United's goal output side of things. Manchester United are not hanging around. They're not waiting around. Someone did a great tweet earlier on, and a David Ornstein retweet from when we bought my Rasmus Hojlund, and the amount of money that we were shafted for. And I'm not saying that this is against or criticising or overly criticising Rasmus Hojlund on this. I'm just saying Manchester United were taken to the cleaners by Atalanta when buying Rasmus Hojlund. Everybody knows it. I don't think there's anyone who doesn't like the guy. I don't think there is anybody that doesn't actually want Rasmus Hojlund to do well. We're all actually like rooting for Rasmus Hojlund. We all want him. We want him to actually get to that point where we are now actively seeing improvement from him. We want to get there with him. We really do, but it's not happening. It's too slow. And I think Ineos have just come in and it's just full on ruthless cutthroat. I say this all the time when I say like January is a difficult month. Always is. And what's happening this month is not the norm. It really isn't. You don't get big significant moves like we're getting in the transfer window normally in January. United are kind of, and I'm going to use this word here, and it's quite a big word, but we are kind of desperate. We're desperate to make things happen right now because nothing is working for us. We are scraping results by in the league and we need better players. I hate to say it. I don't want to give up on certain players, but I get where Ineos are actually at. I get where United are at right now. I do. In trying to move things on and take advantage of PSR loopholes, which is the only way forward for Manchester United to really, really significantly invest in the club. We're not going to get anywhere near, again, what we paid for Rasmus Hojlund. It's another one of them players. Rasmus Hojlund will be easy to sell because he's on low wages. I think he's on about 75 grand, Rasmus Hojlund. And United will always be able to move him on. Obviously, they won't get what they want. They won't get the price tag. They won't get anywhere near what we paid for him. But a cut-down price for Rasmus Hojlund, a player who has still got a little bit of credit in the bank and a bit of, I would say, a bit of sellability because he's still young. He has got goals in the Premier League. He's scored 16 in his first season. I think United will look to probably move Rasmus on in the summer. I think he's actively going to be moved on and pushed out of the football club. That's how I see it. I think United need to make room. I honestly don't have a problem in Rasmus Hojlund staying. I want him to do what he came to Manchester United to do, which is be a top striker. We know he's not a number 9 striker at Manchester United. He was brought in under the wrong regime, under the wrong manager for me, and that's the problem, and it's not his fault. It really isn't. He is a player that should be playing second fiddle or even third fiddle to a couple of other strikers right now. I describe Rasmus Hojlund as the Chicharito of Sir Alex Ferguson's era. You've got Van Persie and Rooney ahead of him. Then Chicharito comes in. That's the level that Rasmus Hojlund is. He's a third-rate striker. He's not top. And it sounds like I'm really being horrible to him there with what I'm saying. It's not. It's not. He would be so much better if he had someone else in front of him. The pressure and everything else, the mismanagement of players and the profiling of players at this football club has led us to where we are with Rasmus Hojlund right now. And that's why Manchester United are openly looking to sell. Because of the poor recruitment, he shouldn't have been bought under the circumstances that he was. He was the wrong target and the wrong player. We paid nearly as much money as we would have for Harry Kane for Rasmus Hojlund, who's unproven. It is absolutely ridiculous. And again, just to reiterate what I just said at the top, it's not his fault. I'll ask the chat right now. Honestly, how much is Rasmus Hojlund worth? How much is Rasmus Hojlund in the current market? Tell me right now, hand on heart, how much is he worth in the market right now with what he's done in his first 18 months at Manchester United? I know he's nowhere near what we expected him or what we paid for him. I know he's nowhere near. For me, I don't even think he's a £40 million player. I really don't. I think Rasmus Hojlund's value, and his value before we even bought him, was a £20 to £30 million striker. That's what Rasmus Hojlund is. He's not an £80 million striker, which is, if he got to a certain level, what United would be paying for him, which is scandalous. Absolutely scandalous. And dealings with that, and who negotiated that deal. Honestly, that summer, what Murto did in that summer with Ten Hag, with Andre Onana, Rasmus Hojlund and Mason Mount, has set this football club back massively. I mean, you can go into the first summer with the likes of Casemiro and Antony and everything that we bought in that summer. But the one after goes under the radar. That was a catastrophic fail from Ineos, not from Ineos, sorry, from the Glazers, from Manchester United, Ten Hag, Murto, Arnold, everyone who was involved in the football club. A catastrophic fail. That was the ultimate worst transfer window, one of the worst in Manchester United's history. And there have been some stinkers, trust me. I'm not just saying that because of the quality of players, because there is a player in Mount. There maybe was a player in Onana, but clearly the pressure and what's needed of him has not been there, and it's been too much for him. There is future prospects in Rasmus Hojlund. But to spend our whole budget on them 3 players and expect them to be first-team players like we did was just an epic fail. It really was. And now, look, 18 months on, Manchester United are open to selling Rasmus Hojlund. Nearly every single player that Ten Hag has brought into this football club, alongside Murto, alongside Arnold and everybody else at this football club, is now pretty much up for sale. And this just goes to show what the failings were before and how desperate Manchester United are now to try and act quickly. And the biggest thing, again, from this Rasmus Hojlund one, before I come to the chat, is that United are not waiting around. They're not waiting for these players anymore, which is why we're talking about who we are. Joshua Zirkzee, I think, will get a little bit more grace than the others because he's only just been brought in. But right now, I would not be surprised if come the start of next season, there is no Marcus Rashford, Garnacho or Rasmus Hojlund in this football team. I would not be surprised. Drastic changes need to be made. Drastic changes at Manchester United from top to bottom are happening. The last thing and the last ones on the list are the players. And I think it's coming as a bit of a shock to everyone right now within the United fan base. But that is our Manchester United reality right now. And nobody can say that it isn't needed. You can argue about some of the players and you can pick up on certain things and say, look, we shouldn't be getting rid of that player. This player needs to go before him. I understand all of them debates. But right now, this is how drastic we are. This is where everything actually is. Yes, we are gifting 5 memberships to the audience tonight. If we get to 500 likes, that is your target, everybody. Get onto that in the chat. Please, everyone. Thank you so much for everyone being in the room. Well over 1,600 with me already. I want your Rasmus brutal, honest opinions. Please get into the chat right now and tell me what you think Rasmus Hojlund is worth. I'm coming to the Super Chat quickly. First of all, you got Raw's Mega Super Chat. Thank you again, my friend. Strikers sometimes take a while to develop. If United sign a stud striker this summer, then have a young crop come through in 2 or 3 years, that would mean Rasmus is done. Yep, that is the problem, and his development will suffer for where he is right now. I've said it before, if you've got like the likes of Obi Martin coming through, Rasmus Hojlund should be at the level right now. He should be at the level right now of just being that second-rate striker. But unfortunately for him, he is needing to do what a first-rate striker should be doing, and he hasn't got the capabilities yet because he's not developed. He's not been given the chance to develop either. It's an absolute joke how you buy somebody who scored 9 goals in Serie A in as your number 9 and your number 1 striker. Poor Rasmus Hojlund. Honestly, never felt more sorry for a player in my life than Rasmus Hojlund and the expectation levels that are on that lad's shoulders. It is massively unfair on him. And the mismanagement and recruitment. And everyone who brought him into Manchester United has been sacked. Now let that sink in. That should tell you everything about how sorry you should feel for certain players that have been brought into this club. It's not their fault. Let's get that straight. It's all on Manchester United, this, and what this club was run like, not the players. The players we can moan about in games, we can moan about players' attitude, application, all of that like we do. But let's not be honest. Don't joke about doo-doos, by the way. Let's not beat around the bush. This isn't on Rasmus. This is purely mismanagement and misprofiling of players. And it's an absolute disaster for Manchester United. I'm not surprised that we're getting stories like this from Mark Ogden about Manchester United actually wanting Rasmus Hojlund out. Well, actually, let's not say, I don't think the club want him out. They would like him to be the striker that we thought we were getting. Really? Or did we think we were going to get that out of him? What made us think that he was actually going to smash it in the Premier League after what he'd done at Atalanta? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what made United think that he was going to be the striker. Wow, is all I'll say. Honestly, Rasmus, not the striker that we need. More a 2 or 3 choice. Osimhen key transfer key for me. Says Seinfeld there. Thanks for the super chat. Another one in from Isaac S. Love the channel. Rasmus is 10 million at most. Ooh, harsh. Another one in from you got Roz as well. Any value in loaning out Rasmus to another Premier League club while you are cutting out the worst dead wood and check back later? Could well be. His wages are not difficult to cover. Like I said, a loan for another club would work for Rasmus Hojlund. I really do think that that is an option, but in the environment of needing money desperately, United, I think, would be open to selling him because they want a full-on change at United and they want to bring in Ruben Amorim players. I am convinced that's the angle that they're going at and they want to. I really do. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel as well, everybody. On the march to 75k, we want to get there 3/4 of the way to that silver play. 100k subscriber mark. We're getting there. Are we going to get there this year? Tell me, everybody. Talk to me. Okay, Rasmus was run ragged last season. Now we expect him to excel. Well, the club actually running ragged, like Ten Hag's system running ragged. Injury after injury. Let's not forget we bought this player with a chronic back issue as well that he has suffered with all his career. And we didn't even think about that. He has missed games. When he was hitting form, he got injured. It curtailed, and then he struggled to get back into top form. There was a spell last season when Rasmus was absolutely on it. And then he got injured, fell off. Completely fell off. Disaster. How can people say he is not good enough? He is 20. There is clear potential there. Get him someone to learn from, and we will have a top player, says Bradley. Bradley, do you think Ineos are going to wait around? Is the question I would ask you. I understand, and you are right. He has got potential, and with someone else, like I just said, in front of him, he will get better. He will. I think there is talent there. Ruben has already said, look, he's willing to try. He is putting extra sessions in. But I can't remember the last time the man had a shot. He's our number 9 striker. And you could say service. Well, sometimes you have to do the basics to get that service. He doesn't link up play. He can't pass the ball. His passing accuracy is appalling for a striker. And I know it's a thankless task being up there on your own. I get it. But there are other players right now that can do it. And that's the key in all of this. We are not criticising or overly criticising or saying that Rasmus is not a good enough player to be United, a future star at Manchester United. We are saying what Ruben needs now. And Ruben needs results. And he needs players that are going to offer more. And United don't have that. And that is the only reason why we're talking about Rasmus Hojlund. Because Ineos are just ripping it up right now. And they're just completely starting from scratch, it would seem. I do expect some big exits in the summer. In particular, the summer. We could still see some in this January transfer window, but I do think we are going to get there. I'm going to see a few. A lot of people giving their prices and opinions. 25 million. There's a few here on the 30s as well. Donny van der Beek completely messed that lad up as well. Fortunately, he's doing well now at Girona. But when are we ever going to learn, says Mr Dacia Sandero. It was too soon to buy him in the first place, says Belvinder. Yeah, it definitely was. We should have waited it out a bit longer. There was other strikers there we should have got. Rasmus Hojlund should have been a £30 million striker. And that's what United should have paid for him. It's as simple as that. If the club were offered €45 million, I think they would accept it for Rasmus. Which is about, what, about 38, I think, something like that. 38 million or something. I don't even think they would get that for him personally, Graham. I don't. Great. I don't see him score when he gets a chance. He needs 5 chances to convert 1. Strike rate. That's another one. Casemiro should be first to go. Sitting on the bench for 300k wages. We touched on him earlier on. Let's just say, sorry Adam, but all YouTubers were happy at the time when we bought Rasmus and Mount, and not even a mention of Nana. It's not perfect science. Look, we knew what we needed. Look, we trust in the recruitment side of things for bringing in a player that is actually good enough. Like, we looked at it, we said, is he too young? Should we be spending that much? We all questioned it at the time. We questioned Mason Mount, good player, but he has been injured. All of the questions came up. Should Mason Mount be given the number 7 shirt? All of the conversations were there at the time. It wasn't like we weren't concerned about the signings. Of course we were. We wanted more. Everybody was saying at the time we needed another striker. Why have we only bought 1? Why is it a young, unproven player that's coming to Manchester United? That's what everybody was talking about at the time. I remember it. And I said, do you know what? For Rasmus Hojlund to get 16 goals in his first season, put some credit on that lad's shoulders. That was very good. It was. We've talked too much about Rasmus. We do need to move on because there is a shed load of other news going around at the moment. Check this story out. This is an absolute doozy from Mark Ogden again. I am just focusing on his piece at the moment, but this is one. Sources say Manchester United would consider a move for Victor Osimhen if his season-long loan at Galatasaray could be transferred to another club during the transfer window. However, Napoli would likely consider this only if it meant a permanent transfer. But a permanent deal is not a priority for United. Again, proof that they want loans to go into the market in the summer for their top targets in this window. He also goes on to say, with Napoli rivaling Chelsea for Alejandro Garnacho this month, created negotiating could open up in the prospect of a deal for Osimhen. That's not the first time that story's come around. Now, I've always said that would be something I would be fully on board with. I cannot see it happening, though. But the word there that Mark uses is definitely what Mark uses. I didn't even realise that Mark Ogden uses there. The prospect of negotiating and being creative in the transfer market. That's something that I think PSR has brought on naturally in this transfer window. That is something that I think is there because of PSR and financial fair play. And I do believe United will be looking at not just Osimhen, but they're looking at other things that can be done in this window with certain deals going on. I think the loan market is key for United for players coming in. I do believe that that's where United are looking right now. I think we are going into the loan market because we want and need our top targets in the summer, which is why they would accept an offer for Rasmus now. But ideally, I think what they're saying is we would take one in the summer. And United would be open for selling for Rasmus Hojlund in the summer. But that deal there for Osimhen, again, creative dealings within the transfer market, that I think is key in all of this. And I do believe that now we are looking at short-term fixes again with the right players. That is incredibly difficult on its own, though, as well. It really is, and I get it. I do get it. Stephen Brown says that maybe loan him, but there's no point in him coming back to the club. He could score 20 goals for another team, but our forward players are too selfish. He suits a 4-4-2 system, not a 5 at the back. Look, he could come back in and do very well. He could go away, score goals, and then come back into a system full of confidence and be a better player. This is what loans are for as well, is to redevelop players. It's to give them that confidence again, give them that new lease of life. That's why these loan deals get made. That's why they happen. And I think that's what you need to look at as well in all of this. It's all about what the player needs. It's about where they go, what club they go to. And that, I feel, is important because a lot of the time United in the past just sent players out on loan willy-nilly to any old club. And it never worked. They didn't play the right style of football. There was no real integration from what Manchester United were trying to do. A proper football structure makes these loans happen, but makes the players, or finds the players a suited club that are playing a certain way or a certain style that suits them or comes close to what United are trying to develop or what they see is the right fit for them for their development at the time. Not just willy-nilly and whoever needs them. It's not like it's sending a player out on loan just to toughen him up in the Championship anymore. No, that's a load of crap. There's a lot more to it now. Odie Grass with his super chat says, team leaks have stopped while Marcus is not in the squad. He's trying to put 2 and 2 together. 100% get rid. He gets no service because he's not worthy of it. It happens at every level in football. That is a harsh one, but brutal. I meant top European leagues. That's what someone says there. Just get with all of this being going on this season, the team is shit. Rasmus has been a shit season to taken so for granted. A poor lad looks bereft of confidence. He does look completely out. We do need to move on. We're running out of time. I do need to quickly update you on everything. Straight after this, there's a link in the live chat, and trust me on this, I want you to join me on Big Up for our transfer calling show. Please just do this for me. It helps me. I've got better tools on there that we can use. It is a lot of fun. It is different to what we can do on YouTube. So if you please just join us after this show finishes on Big Up. We're going to get some calls in from people. We're going to get people on having their say about transfers. We're going to carry the conversation on. I think it's important that everyone has their say. We can't do this on YouTube. It's not set up for it. So what we are going to do, we're going to take it over to Big Up. We're going to get your calls in and get your thoughts on all of the transfer talks as well. And that's what we're doing straight after this show. So please do join us there. It helps me out. It also gives us something different to work with and gives everybody else a chance to have their say. So please do join us on that after we finish this show. It would be much appreciated. Graham has gifted 5 memberships. What a legend. Thank you, Graham. Don't forget, 5 more memberships will be going up if we reach the 500 like mark while live, everybody. So please do get onto that. Right, more news. Let's get into some of the important stuff as well. In terms of Patrick Dorgu, by the way, that is now starting to develop. Patrick Dorgu's entire family have been in Lecce since Thursday, and this is not the norm for the player. Dorgu's parents are pushing for the move to Manchester United. That's what's happening with that right now. Also, Ruben Amorim is pushing hard to sign Patrick Dorgu before the end of this window. Dorgu is Amorim's desired target. He has made that clear in recent days. That's from Florian Plettenberg. But Plettenberg backs that up by saying, if a move for Patrick Dorgu falls through, Manchester United are seriously considering activating the buyback option to bring back Alvaro Carreras, however you want to say it, to the football club. That is the latest development on Dorgu and what's happening right now. United struggling in talks. Romano has said that a bid was going in today. This is the first day that we've known a bid is going in, or a different bid, or a new bid for Dorgu, and nothing come back. And that's interesting on its own, because we would usually have heard something. It looks like United are pretty much at a crossroads and a stalemate in the Dorgu negotiations. Like Sky was saying earlier on, I think early this morning, they were saying United have a valuation and they're not going to go above it. It's who moves first, who is going to blink first, who's going to bluff first in this standoff. And that's that's the situation we're at. That's where everything is now. And to be honest, I don't know where it's going to go right now. It's completely up in the air. But United are seriously considering activating the buyback clause in Alvaro Fernandez's contract, and that is a serious thing. That could happen. All of the Sky broadcasters are saying that. Plettenberg over in Sky Germany is also saying that. So this could actually come to a point where United have to just make a quick decision and say, yeah, that's it. And whether they'll say that first and then move into like more negotiations or trying to force the hand of Lecce, I don't think Lecce are going to move on this. I don't think they are open to moving. I don't think they need to move, is what I think. I think they know that they can sell him for more. They don't want to sell him right now because they're in the middle of a season. He is a very important player to them. They're in a relegation fight in Serie A, and they know they can get the money for him guaranteed in the summer anyway from Napoli. So they're in no real panic right now, Lecce, and United have a decision to make. I think United will be the first to move. I think United will have to move. I honestly feel like they're stuck because they want to back Ruben Amorim. It's his first signing, and apparently, according to all of the reports, this is the first choice. This is who he wants. So what are United going to do? Are they going to back the man and pay more for the player that he wants? Or are we going to be looking at Ineos cutting corners again and going with a cheap option? A lot of people have said this. Even Kaz said it to me earlier on. Like, would you not just buy back Alvaro Fernandez and keep him in the club as your number two, or play him and play Dorgu, who can also play on the right? Would you not buy both? Worst case scenario, you could always sell Alvaro Fernandez for a big profit later down the line. Why were United not ever in for him? Why were we never considering this move? Something doesn't fit right with Alvaro Fernandez. Something's not right there. And while the option is there and we are being talked about going back in for him, I just feel like if he was that important, this would have already been done a long time ago. Super chat again from You Got Raws. Thank you, my man. Love that. Bring Alvaro back. Anyway, we need the depth. Worst case scenario, they get both and sell Alvaro for way more than the 8 Alvaro would cost them. I just said it. This club can't afford not to do it financially. It seems wrong that we're using the player as a bit of a pawn financially. It does. I actually do agree. Like, if you want 2 left wing backs, or like I keep saying, the beauty of Patrick Dorgu is the versatility. This man plays as much on the right as he does on the left, on both sides. He can play both. And this is why I think Ruben Amorim is looking at him. Because in the short term, before we get into the summer and possibly will find someone else for the right-hand side, he can cover in both areas where needed. And he can work forward as well. He has played on right wing and at left back and at right back. He's played all over the place. He is capable, is what we're saying. So he could be versatile enough to actually give us an option on the right and the left if we brought him in. And I do believe that is a big, big push, and one of the reasons why United are going all in on Alvaro Fernandez as well. On Patrick Dorgu on this one. I think that's the angle that really is the sell and why Ruben Amorim wants him. There is more, obviously. There's characteristics, attitude, everything that Ruben Amorim has been talking about in his press conferences that he wants from his players. He's obviously going to be looking for that from players that he brings in as well, surely. So I think that's why Dorgu's top target. He is. We are 47 likes away from getting the 5 gifted memberships from FUTV. I'm not impressed with our recruitment and negotiations or negotiators, says Babs. Talk to me, Babs. Hopefully I'm going to get you on the call-in show on Big Up as well. Don't forget, click on the link in the live chat, everybody, and get over there onto Big Up and join us for the call-in show. Straight after this show finishes here on YouTube, we're going to get your thoughts on everything going on. Dorgu is another gamble, just like Højlund. Why not use the Malacia and Dalot? What we need now is a goal scorer. Because they're not good enough, mate. The key position in Ruben Amorim's system are the wing-backs. Left and right. They are the creative sparks. Have you noticed, while United have got 2 defensive-style fullbacks playing at wing-back in Dalot and Mazraoui, we are not getting enough men forward into attacks. And that's the problem. We are too deep. We're more of a 5 at the back rather than a 4 in the middle right now, Manchester United. And that's the problem. We don't support the forwards enough with our wing-backs. With the right players in, this would change. Manchester United, I feel, would have more players forward. I think we would score more goals with the right wing-backs in play in this system. I really do. And that is something that I think will definitely benefit Manchester United and Ruben Amorim going forward if he got the right wing-backs in. And I think that's where we're at with it. I do. I think that's why this is a key position for us and why we're going for it. Let's just see what else we've got in the chat here. 50% sell-on clause, so MUFC will get more if he goes to another club. That dies if United buy him first, though, cloaks and dagger. So if we buy Alvaro Fernandez, we have a 50% sell-on clause. So that would take our chunk of our value off from our buyback. So literally 16 million. If United bought him, they would trigger the sell-on, which makes that half. So 8 million. But then that deal is dead, so we cannot sell him on anymore, obviously. So that for us is, I think it's a no-brainer. If you can get someone in for bleeding 8 million quid that good. By the way, Benfica's sell-on clause, Benfica's buyout clause for his contract right now for everybody else in the world is 50 million euros. That's what Alvaro really is worth right now at his age. Gifted membership from London. Thank you, Benny, Orwell and Adam. If the immediate impact of the left wing-back will be so stark, Dorgu is worth what Lecce are asking for. And that's why we're asking the question. That's why we're asking Manchester United. Why have you not met what is needed to get this player in as soon as possible for Ruben Amorim and this system? And that's why we're asking everything about Ineos right now. So, yes. 500 likes up in the live chat. Thank you, everybody. I will drop them memberships in right now. There you go. Thank you very much, everybody. A big thank you again for all of the likes. Love that. Make sure that you give Forever United TV a thank you if you have got one of them donated memberships, as is usual. Really appreciate it. Love having a big membership crew. I expect all my members to be on the live chat call-in show on Big Up, link in the description and the live chat right now. As a member, your obligation is to come and watch and join in with the call-in show on Big Up as well. Make it happen. Okay, more news. Let's get into the rest of it. And we are moving on to Alejandro Garnacho. Of course we are. And the update on this, which is coming from Luca Kirkachone, I think is how you say it. Kirkachone, I think it is. Journalist, again, over in Italy. Italian sources, yes. But yesterday, Manchester United informed, this is weird, Manchester United informed Napoli that they will not sell Alejandro Garnacho for less than 65 million euros, which is less than what we actually are going to accept from Chelsea. So it's kind of weird. So that's just below 60 million quid. That's like 50 odd million quid. So yeah, kind of strange on that one. But we've not, weirdly, heard anything on Garnacho. Calm before the storm. Maybe something is brewing. I'm not too sure on Garnacho with this right now. I don't know where we're going. Obviously, we talked this morning about Ruben Amorim needing to make the choice. It's up to him. what he does. Does he go with the players that he can buy with Garnacho, or does he trust in Garnacho to make it as a player at United? Interesting. We also brought up the story that odds have been slashed with Nkunku earlier on regarding his move away from Chelsea to Manchester United. More talk on that, and there is a bit of to-ing and fro-ing with Chelsea. According to the reports that we're negotiating Nkunku, well, they're trying to get Garner in as well through the other door. It is sort of now stretching out to a point where we're at with Garnacho that I think United are desperately trying to find someone to replace him before they say yes. I think that ultimately is where we're at with it. It does look like we are desperately trying to get somebody through the door before we actually sell Garnacho. And you know what? That is, I think sensible. I don't think any United fan is too concerned if Garnacho stays right now. We still need to bring players in even if Garnacho stays. But if Garnacho goes, I think all eyes are on where United's money goes. And we've said that throughout. We have. What about Angel Gomez? We can get him on a free. He said he would come back to United. Free in the summer. Not in January though. So can we get him? We can get Jonathan David for free in the summer. We can get Angel Gomez for free in the summer. There are players there are gettable that are very, very cheap for United to get when the summer transfer window opens. And that is going to be very, very interesting as to see where United go with this. And who the targets are in the summer. I am looking forward to that summer transfer window. I really am. I'm going to do a big bit of your comments coming in right at the end. I'm just going to get through the rest of the news quickly. The other bit of transfer news for the end of the day. And of course, don't worry. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We are live whenever anything big drops. We are live at the moment through the transfer window 3 times a day, keeping you fully up to date with every single bit of news. You don't even need to look at anything. I've got you covered. Marcus Rashford, again, there is another journalist over in Spain now saying this. Luis Rojo over in Spain has said that Marcus Rashford has taken a step to join Barcelona. He is willing to lower his salary to sign for them. We talked about this 2 days ago. We already know the rumours about Marcus Rashford now desperately trying to seek a club out. Do you know what? Earlier on today, I've heard loads of journalists, I've heard reporters, I've heard Sky saying that this is very, very risky in what Ruben Amorim is doing with Marcus Rashford. He really does not care if United are going to sell him or not. He has been sent in to do a job. It's not worked the way he wants it to work, and he says he's going to have to, in his mind, I think Ruben Amorim really, and we're all talking about the comments about Vital, the goalkeeping coach, that Ruben Amorim would rather have on the bench than a player who isn't going to put the amount of effort in. It's all pointing towards Marcus Rashford because that was the original question asked to Ruben Amorim. So everybody knows where he's going with it. But, again, when you question what Ruben Amorim is doing, and a few of the reports today have been around that, is he taking a gamble again? He's called this team the worst team in Manchester United's history. He's already come back on that. Is he going to come back on the Marcus Rashford comment? Well, he will say, I was alluding to everybody. Because in that same sentence, he did say, he was talking about all Manchester United players. It goes for every Manchester United player. But right now, there is only one that isn't getting into that matchday squad. So, put it all together. That's where he's at. And if you're not going to put the effort in, we know you're not going to be part of Ruben's squad. But I actually don't think he cares if United sell him or not. He's just not going to use him. So it's up to Ineos. Again, I keep saying it. Marcus Rashford is willing to drop his wages. You do a little bit yourself and get everybody playing football again, and let's move forward. For God's sake, please, someone do something to get that guy out of this football club. Because no Marcus Rashford is better than a Marcus Rashford right now. It goes back to what he said. If you back me, good. If you don't, even better. If you play for United, good. If you don't, even better. That's how I would counter that for Marcus Rashford. But even good playing for Manchester United. I'm only saying that because if you do get back in his team, you would have actually realised what mistake you made in the first place and cost United and doing everything to get back in. But if you go, it's even better anyway because you're really not going to change in the future, are you, Marcus? And that's the reality of what we're in right now. But yeah, them stories coming from Spain about him dropping his wages to try and make a move to Barca. A lot of people picking up on the same point that I made. Why would you want to go Barcelona when you're trying to get into the England squad? You're not going to be playing football at Barcelona, Marcus. You're not getting in ahead of Rafinha or Lewandowski or, for that matter, Lamine Yamal either, are you? You're not. You're probably not even getting in ahead of the players that are on the bench right now. Can you actually say that Marcus Rashford is going to offer Barcelona more than Ansu Fati or Garcia, who they're looking to move on to get Rashford in? I think they just want to bring him in so they can sell a few shirts. I think that's where Barcelona's angle is on this. I cannot see anything else because he isn't going to improve Barcelona one bit. I know I'm doing damage to it here by saying that Marcus Rashford isn't worth selling. Honestly, right now, with Marcus Rashford, I don't actually care if he goes or he doesn't, as long as he doesn't play for United. I don't want it. I want him gone because he's going to poison the dressing room. That's how I feel. I think he is a problem there. And I think Ruben has figured him out. He's got him in his sights and he knows he is the bad egg. And he's not going to fall for it. If anybody was going to turn Marcus Rashford's career around, it's Ruben Amorim. Him not playing is exactly what he needs. That reality check. If he doesn't react to this and doesn't react to being out for a dozen games now for the so-called Mr. Manchester United and boyhood Manchester United fan, then he is done in football. I will never be able to figure out what goes through that boy's head. I really won't. I am baffled by what Marcus Rashford actually is. I really am. I don't get him. I never will. And I don't understand this situation one bit. It is absolutely ludicrous. But hey. Cheers, Adam. Fingers crossed that the goalkeeping coach is on the bench on Sunday. Could be like a brand new signing. Looking forward to being back at Old Trafford on Sunday. Says, try give. I always don't know if I get that name right. Sorry. Marcus Rashford thinks he's better than he actually is. I think everybody knows that, Paul. Let's see. He wouldn't get in ahead of their goalkeeping coach at Barcelona. Amorim has aged 10 years in 2 months at Manchester United. His words, not mine. That was a good one, that, to open up the press conference last night from Ruben. It was. Rashford's finished prima donna. Red Army Reaction says his brothers are really bright. They failed their multiple choice agents exam. I reckon Hansi Flick fancies the Champions League this year. I would. And wants Rashford as backup. And like I said, if he doesn't read the room and understand that situation and know that he is not going to get into that side, then I question everything about him and everyone around him. I've said this how many times on every single show. Marcus Rashford's career has gone downhill mainly because of the people he surrounds himself with. His representatives, honestly, credit to them for taking United to the cleaners and getting what they did for their client money-wise. But in terms of football, they've killed him. I really do think that they have killed him. And I think this is the problem that Manchester United right now are dealing with. This is the new Manchester United under Ineos. By the way, it must have gone to town on Ineos regarding all of the ticket pricing set up. They've called them out big time. I'm sure you've read it through all of social media today. It's been all over Sky. They are pleading with Ineos to put a freeze on season ticket prices. Stop trying to force out the season ticket and match-going fans is the word for must, to try and get the fans behind this football club. That's Must's angle on this. They need to be getting the fans behind the boys instead of isolating them. And the disconnect right now that's there, if you're having to pay more money on watching these performances, it's not going to help anybody. It's not going to get anybody on board. And they're always going to be struggling. They really are. We are now over 600 live likes. I love that, everybody. And don't forget, straight from here, that link in the live chat right there, I'm just asking you all nicely, just join us for the call-in show on Big Up. We're going to carry this conversation over straight after we finish here. I just want to get as many people across as possible. If you love the channel, come and join me there as well. Have a little bit of a chat and have a laugh. It's great. It's a load of fun. And it's a different atmosphere to YouTube. We can do a lot more on there as well and get more people involved. And it's just a different vibe, something new, with the same topics as well. Don't worry, we're always here giving you the news as it is and as it drops, but we're just adding a little bit of a twist on the end of it, that's all. Just something a little bit different for you all to get involved in, that is it really. But just to round everything up there as well, Manchester United are open for selling everybody. Rasmus Hojlund, the latest name on the list for Ineos, open for offers this January and in the summer. Manchester United have told Napoli that Alejandro Garnacho is up for sale for €65 million or just walk away. Dorgu, complications with contracts. He is forcing the move. He wants to go. Lecce are standing firm on their player, and it's up to United to make the right bid. Otherwise, he stays, and United turn their attentions to Alvaro Carreras Fernandez. So that's where we're at with the main targets right now. Marcus Rashford is open to a pay cut and going to Barcelona. We've covered that already. But that pretty much sums up your evening show, everybody. All that's left for me to say again is a massive thank you to everyone, all of the members, all of the contributors, all of the new subscribers as well. If you have just subscribed, please do join us on that on the call-in show over on Big Up Now. It's going to be going straight live now as soon as we finish here. I just want as many of our FUTV army over there as possible. Again, I'll say it helps me out. It helps build the channel as well. We want to get more people involved over there. We want to give you your chance to have your say. I want as many opinions as possible. Just go and try it out. I challenge you. This one time, go and watch it. It's good. And we may even throw some Fulham highlights in if you want as well, because we're allowed to do that on Big Up as well. We've got all the match highlights and everything, but we are doing a full-on transfer calling show. I want your say. I want to know what you feel about everything going on at the football club right now. We're heading over to Big Up now, so please come and join us there. For here now on YouTube, thank you everybody. I love you all. You are epic. You are, and my mouse is broke. And I can't turn it off. But I am going to have fixed it again. There you go. Hey, this is what happens when you're on. When you're on your own. Thanks everybody. Love that. It's a great show. I'll see you over on Big Up. Give this video a like on the way out, please. And hit that subscribe button.